Hello there, my name is IELTS-Banke and I am an IELTS tutor, but my students call me Banke IELTS. So it was nice connecting with you at the IELTS class, the physical class, which held in Lagos State the other day. I thought to drop by and give you these winning tips and strategies so that you can have something to help you along your journey if you have not written the IELTS test, or you've written it but you didn't get your desired band score. I think these winning tips and strategies will really help you to prepare better and then ultimately acing the test. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to be talking about the strategies for listening. But before I go into the strategies and the tips, you need to understand what the raw score conversion means and what that translates to in your band score. So for example, if you are practicing on your own and you're scoring say 35 to 36, you should know that you're getting a band score of 8. If you score 37 to 38, for example, that means your band score is 8.5. So with that knowledge, you can prepare better to know what score you must be scoring consistently to achieve your band score. Okay, so now what are the tips and strategies that I will recommend to you? Having written the exam myself, and these strategies will always work at any time. The first thing is that you should try to read the questions through before the tape starts playing. This is very important. Also, make sure to write in capital letters. That's just my advice. In case your handwriting is not legible, you would be giving the examiner any excuse. You wouldn't be giving the examiner any excuse to penalize you because he or she couldn't see what you have written. Also note that the letter I should be written as a single stroke without the bars. Good. If an answer requires you to write a number, please do not write a letter. You should understand that instructions are part of an examination, and if you want to score high, you must follow the instructions per section. Spellings are also very important. They must be clearly, correctly, and accurately written. Also, I would recommend that you eat well and be properly hydrated. You'll be given water in the examination, or if you need to drink water, or you need to, freshen yourself. And if you don't need to eat or drink before going for your exam, whatever works for you, just by all means do it and go in there and write your test. So this is what the raw band score looks like for reading. For a band score of 9, that means you must score 40 points out of all the 40 questions you're given. That means you must get everything right. And if you get a band score of 8.5, that means you have scored 39 questions right out of the questions. Okay, good. So for me, I would recommend that you practice as much questions as you can under timed conditions. Do not joke with this tip. Many students practice but not under timed conditions. So I would recommend that you practice under timed conditions. Also, if an answer requires you to write a yes or a no, for example, please do not write true or false. Okay, read the instructions for each section carefully before answering the questions. If you did not get the answer to the question, move on quickly to the next one. Staying put on a question may mean that you'll be stuck, and then by the time you are out of it, time's gone and you will not be able to finish answering the question. So by all means, make sure you move on to the next question as quickly as you can if you can't get the answer at that particular point in time. And as I always say, the best place to start is to read the questions. Yes, you always go to the questions first, read the questions, and then go scan for the answers in the passages. Okay, so for writing, Before we go to the tips and the strategies, I need us to understand what the band 9 descriptor for writing means. That way you can tailor your writing towards that end. So there are 4 factors which will determine whether you will get a band 9 in your writing. These are task response, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, grammatical range and accuracy. By task response, we mean that all parts of the question must be adequately addressed, developed, extended, and supported with the relevant ideas. By coherence and cohesion, we mean that the paragraphs must be properly managed and the essay well organized using appropriate cohesive devices without attracting attention. By cohesive devices, we mean use of appropriate linking devices at the appropriate points in the course of writing your essay. Lexical resource is also something you'll be graded for. This means that your vocabulary should be used with natural sophistication and very minor slips. You're not trying to impress the examiner at this point in time, so be wary of using big grammar in quotes and just use the appropriate vocabulary depending on the essay question you are addressing. Grammatical range and accuracy means that your questions must be answered with accurate usage of a wide range of structures with minor or simple errors. In the VIP class, I go into further details on these 4 parameters that will be used to achieve a band 9 in writing. Because if I were to discuss that here, we are not going to leave here today. But for your practice, just know that these are the 4 things you will require for your writing. Okay? Yes. So congratulations if you listened and watched this slide thus far. Congratulations. So what are my tips and strategies, my all-time favorite tips and strategies which I don't fail to give every one of my students at any point in time on writing? I'll tell you to draft a plan before you start writing. Because if you don't plan your work, you might find yourself that your essay may lack cohesion and coherence. We will go into details about this more in the VIP classes where we draft plans for different kinds of essays. Whether you're writing opinion essays, advantage, disadvantages, agree, disagree, whatever the question is, there is always a plan for each particular type of question. Also, I would recommend that you use more complex and compound structures, taking care to obey the noun-verb rule. Alright? Aim to finish before the speculated time using the 1:3 rule. Alright? And provide adequate support and extension of your ideas, citing relevant examples. This is also an entire class on its own, where I will teach you how to develop your essays and provide the adequate support and extension, citing relevant examples. Also, you need to write a concise conclusion which shows a summary and avoid the use of fillers. By using fillers, I mean that you want to attain your word counts on time, but you will only end up shooting yourself in the leg if you do this. So by all means, make sure that you do not use fillers. Lastly, your word count should be about 50 to 80 words more than the list. In task 1, you'll be asked to write at least 150 words. And in task 2, you'll be asked to write at least 250 words. So you can only write at least 150 or 250, but no less. So it's best that your 150 words must be more than 150 by say 50 to 80 words. This is just perfect for you so that you don't slip into writing fillers. And for the speaking part of your essay, I would recommend that you smile, be confident, and avoid blabbing. Don't take pauses while answering questions. Try to talk at a moderate flow Yes, wait for the examiner to finish reading out the question before you start answering. Please do not jump in on the examiner while he or she is still reading out the questions. It's just not polite. For the cue card, I would recommend that you think about a fantasy if you run out of ideas. Imagining something that you've always had in your fantasy could help you to come up with ideas on the spot. So I think that will work very fine. Alright, thank you for watching, and if you will need further help, I will be right here waiting to hold your hand and walk you through the process to achieve success. And I can assure you that you can do it. If I can, then certainly you can. You may consider signing up for any of my VIP classes, and I'll be willing to admit you in. Till next time when I come your way, have a nice day.